Welcome to the DAT podcast, episode 69, a special edition. Two lone wolves chatting it up today. I'm with the great Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Thanks for coming on, bro. Thanks for inviting me over, brother.
Mate, no worries at all, mate. We had some fun before.
Yeah,
now we're here to chat some shit. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we can swear.
So,
don't worry. If we have to edit it out to get sponsors, we can.
After Rakija here and there, I tend to swear a little bit. So.
That's right. So we're in Volk's kitchen. This is the Cooking with Volk kitchen, Cooking with Volk kitchen, and we just made an immaculate dish. You guys are going to probably see it on the Instagram and obviously YouTube's DAT. Traditional Macedonian dish coming at you live, but now we're just going to chop it up, have a bit of a chat. As you guys that listen to the podcast know what I do, we also talk to people that are at the top of their game, and this week we're talking to the top of the pops, as John Lennon said back in the 60s, the best you can get, the international UFC featherweight champion of the world. How do you feel, bro, after your recent win? Let's just kick it off with where you're at.
What, the last one?
Yeah.
The last one, yeah, man, good, mate. It's good. You know, big one. It was a big fight, you know, defending, main event, in Vegas, full crowds again, you know what I mean, after all the chaos.
Yeah.
Just to be out there doing our thing again, man, it was incredible, mate. And we end up putting on a good show, you know. It's the entertainment business, right? And we were there and we entertained, so it was good, mate. I really enjoyed it, and still a lot of hype around it, a lot of buzz around the fight.
Obviously.
So I'm laughing.
We're like how many months it was? 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago?
It'll be just over 2 months, I'd say.
Yeah, all right. So it's taken a while to get Volk on the mics here. You were in quarantine for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
And firstly, before we go back to the fight, how did you survive that, bro?
Mate, I'm lucky enough where I can actually go with Joe, like my head coach, Joe Lopez. So we do it together, and we got an apartment. It's not too bad because, you know, anything can happen. Like
They got an apartment for you?
Yeah, so we got an apartment, like, so, you know, and just so we could both be there as well, because a lot of times I could get injured. I've been sick coming after fights and whatnot, so we told him that, like, we need someone I could break my leg, break a hand, or anything like that, and, you know, a bit of this, that, you know what I mean?
In the apartment, you're going to break a leg?
Nah, like in the fights, yeah. So whenever we come back, so could be injuries, man. I've had bad infections, you name it. I've had broken bones, bad infections, cellulitis and everything. Yeah, so I was in hospital after my fight with Aldo.
Yeah.
My fight with Aldo. I was in Chile hospital for like a week because I ended up getting a bad, cellulitis and bad leg infection. So I was stuck there.
Drip for that,
so I was on the drip. I was there for a while, yeah, man. And then I was there. Had to wait an extra 2 days because I had the feet up.
Yeah.
I pulled my lungs, or I think it was my lungs. My lungs went too far up, so I couldn't get on the plane. So I had to go on this thing to like full blow and to bring my lungs back down and things like that.
Your lungs went up.
Yeah, they just, from me, the way I was sitting, the way I had to sit and stuff like that.
To
but anyway,
drain that stuff.
Exactly.
So for people that are listening to this, you guys think this is all just having a bit of a brawl, but it's not about that, bro. This is your lungs going up into your chest. It's a deep game.
Well, to be honest, mate, like I'm usually fine after fights, but I mean, I might have broken bones or broken hands and things like that. But the last, mate, UFC career, I think I've had bad infections and things like that go wrong, and it just happens, you know. I mean, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe because the immune system's down from the weight cuts and whatnot. So
yeah, for sure.
What do you do?
But do they clean the canvas before you guys get on, or is there just blood from every hero before you?
Well, there is, just blood, I guess.
There's no one mopping it up.
They'll clean it after an event, but I mean, they don't really have time to clean it up. You know, they might wipe it up a little bit, but sometimes it's covered in a bit of blood.
You don't want to be fighting.
Maybe that's where I got cellulitis from. We'll see, I don't know.
That's what it's from. You don't want to be fighting after Nate Diaz. It's just basically blood everywhere. That blood.
Well, mate, that's a sport. But hey, that's why. Oh, is that Ariana in the background?
Yeah, she won't get that. Shout outs to your little daughter Ariana. At least watching Peppa Pig, maybe.
It sounded like Peppa Pig or something.
Yeah.
Hoping to keep it quiet, but yeah, we'll see.
That's right. All right, so that fight was incredible, bro. And you've probably been asked this 100 times. Why not? I'm going to ask you again. You got into that headlock. All right, this guy Ortega. He's the king of these headlocks. So if you're watching this, Ortega, and you should be, you know, we got out, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly right.
Would you recommend that general people like me and the producer learn how to get out of headlocks like that, or you reckon just leave it for the pros?
Mate, even the pros can't get it right as well. Put it this way, the position I was in, not many people would get out of.
Right.
You know, I'll give credit where credit's due, and Ortega wrapped that up real quick. He done well. So, you know, it's obviously the game is not to get in these positions, but credit to him, he somehow got me there like that.
He was very
I don't
quick,
think
bro.
anyone can execute a mounted guillotine that quick. It was just everything fell into place perfectly for him.
Yeah.
And you'd think that's it, that's it, game over.
Gone.
But
Well, we were watching.
not on my watch.
Exactly.
Not in my world.
We were watching and we started free falling. We were like, oh God, this is exactly what they were saying he's good at.
That's
And
his
then,
move, man.
did you see the photo of your head turning purple?
Yeah, I did. I did see that. But mate, like it was
That was a
deep.
little bit scary.
It was deep, mate. It really was. Even for me, you know, I was never scared. Like obviously,
Could
I
you
had
breathe?
moments. Nah, you can't breathe. Like
No breathing.
Nah, you're no breathing. So this is how it is. I'll explain it. So what it is I was in there. So you got the blood choke, blood and oxygen. So that's what. Once that goes out, doesn't matter if you can breathe or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're gone. So that's why a lot of people are like, oh, it was in. How did he survive? I did just enough here and there to make that bit of space where I wouldn't go out. But he was close because I remember the lights. It looked like the lights were dimming.
Getting dark.
I couldn't hear nothing. You know what I mean? So it was getting tight. So I was like doing whatever I could to make the little bit of space and then try and get out a little bit more. So most people would have gave up
For sure.
you know. And again, like it's when you go into detail with it. I was in that position, was bad. A lot of people would have just gave up purely because, oh no, like you can't get out of this. But you know, that's not my mentality.
your style.
I'm gonna find a way.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a way, and it still fucking wasn't working. You know what I mean? So it wasn't working. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? But for me, I'm just gonna either
not
go
giving up
out
until
or
you go
I'm gonna keep going.
Right.
So I was doing enough. Luckily, I was doing enough to make that little bit of space. So the blood came back. The breathing I was probably still struggling to breathe. But I mean, I probably made
blood
enough.
through the artery here.
Yes, yeah, exactly. The blood and oxygen to the brain. I would have been like would have been struggling to breathe in that. But I mean, I would have had enough, to keep myself going.
Yeah.
So I was luckily, you know what I mean? Because you go out, there's nothing you can do.
Could you hear the 50,000 people screaming at the top of their
Like
lungs?
I said, everything went mute for a bit. Mute as the light was dimming. And then I got out and then like you could hear it, and especially when I ended up getting on top, and then I started
The
doing
wrath
the
of
ground.
God.
And then that sort of got me going. I was like, the
sure.
crowd's yelling, and I'm like, I'm going to get you back, you know what I mean? So I started putting it on him, and that's why I was like, oh, stuff, let's just go, let's have a bit of fun. A lot of people are like, what are you doing on the ground? I was like, hey, let's have fun. Let's just play where everyone's enjoying it, where all the chaos is happening. Let's keep it here.
I think half the world or more were jumping on the lounges at that point, bro, when you got back up. When you got back up, like after he tried to do the blueberry thing with you, right? Because we were freaking out, right? And I'm not having a laugh here, but we were like, oh, it's over. But then you got up like you just got up from a 12-hour sleep. You were fresh as anything, straight away. You weren't a little bit discombobulated, a bit confused, like what day is it? Nothing like that, just straight into
Man,
belting.
I was there the whole time, even though the lights were dimming and all that.
Still
I was
sharp.
aware the whole time, and I was like, I had moments where I was thinking, man, there's no way I'm not bringing this belt home to my family and all that. We got real deep, but I was there the whole time. I even remember that little conversation I had in my head. So I'm just sitting there, and Bull made the space, and I'm like, oh, all right, good, and let's just go now. Now we're going to work. I knew he would have gassed himself. So I was like, as soon as I get up, I am pouring it on because I know he would have blew his load. So again, I was there the whole time, and then as soon as I got up, let's go. Hey,
Yeah, he was gassed.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like he was already a little gassed before. He was hurt and gassed, and then locking onto something like that. And again, for him to hold that position, I was doing a lot of good things to make space in his technique to keep his hips locked to my hips, and there's certain things that he did very, very well, but. He's using a lot of core muscle, a lot of
Energy,
lactic would have been burned, all that type of stuff. He was using a lot of power, a lot of energy, just trying to hold this perfect position while I was trying to fight it. So I pretty much, luckily, I made enough space because it was your arms are going to gas before I go to sleep. You know what I mean?
The space is what, just from moving back and forth?
That's it, at that time because
you got to be strong to make that space. You got to be stronger than him by a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I mean.
That's the only
and again,
way, scientifically speaking, and I'm not a scientist.
Well, you need to be. You can be strong, but not put use your strength in the wrong positions. It ain't going to work. So I'm luckily I'm pulling on an arm. I'm pulling on his hip this way. I'm like trying to turn and keep a little bit to make the littlest bit of space, however I can. And I just made enough where you know what I mean. But again. I won't get put in a position that deep ever again, I don't think. You know what I mean? If I don't go out there, I don't think I'm ever going to go out. So, That just shows we will put in these positions, man. Like obviously prevention is a big part of training. Don't get put in these positions. And a lot of people train that. But I put myself in these bad positions and fight out. That's why I'm still comfortable there. I've been in trainer drilling these real uncomfortable
So
shitty
in training, people have gone into the exact same thing on you.
I'll start in that position.
Okay.
I'll put them, all right, go lock it in, deeper, like make them go as deep as they can. Let's fight from there. You know what I mean? Little things like that. I was doing that. I didn't do it in that position, to be honest. That exact position, I didn't do much. Exactly. I didn't do much of. Usually, I do a lot of mounted guillotine because a lot of times when things are really deep, I can usually go to on my back and let them get the mounted guillotine, and that sometimes can be easy to make space. But the fact that he wrapped me up with his legs so well,
really up there.
I couldn't get the hips up. Usually I can do it, and then while he's doing that, I just pull the hips up, and then I change the angle. But he did such a great job of keeping his hips locked in on mine and wrapping my legs and lacing my legs, where while I was doing that, it wasn't budging. So I was in a very, very bad position. Wow. So even though that can be a position that I will go to, not when it's locked up how it was. So again, he wrapped the way he just locked everything up into the most perfect position you could was pretty incredible.
It looked textbook.
It was textbook. Anyone that does jiu-jitsu, I'm talking some of the best grapplers in the world would have been impressed with that. So you got to give them credit where credit's due, and I guarantee you they were impressed with me getting out as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy or a UFC fighter. I'm more KFC than UFC, but I have wrapped up the missus' hips pretty similar, okay? And she can't get out of it either. And that's with consent. So if you're going to cut that, she's down for it. She's down for the rumble. So the whole time you're talking about positions and hips, all I'm thinking about is the bedroom when I get home. So,
well, it is all in the hips, isn't it?
It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips.
Thanks for bringing that up because I'm pumped up now. I'm ready to go home.
It's a long drive home too, mate.
With another bloke.
You better be careful, mate.
All right, so that was the incredible fight, bro. Let's. I'm gonna track it back, bro, because you've probably done that. Let's wrap backwards, and let's go back to you grew up in the Illawarra area. You're a local here.
Yeah.
We've established before you're half Maso, half Greek heritage side, but you're born in Australia, and you're pretty Aussie football player. You're a sporty kid, right? Always sporty. Or not really? Always interested in sport.
Always sporty and love the adventures, love being out and about and doing all that stuff.
Outdoorsy.
Nah, I mean that's one thing even now. I'm good at pretty much I don't want to be cocky, but I'm good at pretty much anything. But gaming, I just haven't nailed that yet. I don't know what it is. So it must be the fingers. I don't have the finesse in the fingers.
All right.
So I'm good. I'm pretty good everywhere else.
Yeah, right. Okay, beautiful. And then what was the first sport you kind of fell in love with? You go, I want to pursue this?
Man, well, I did because I played soccer. That was the first sport I did because my dad was playing, my brother was playing, and I wasn't that good at it. Out of all the sports I did, that was definitely the worst. So I was like, all right, and then I ended up doing a bit of wrestling, and I was pretty good at that. I was really good, but I got over.
Age?
I was probably 12 years old, but I got over wearing tights. You know, you got to wear these full outfit tights. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, you don't want
can
that
imagine. Yeah, you know what I mean? You can imagine you got your junk there and everything, you know what I mean? Everyone can see everything, you know what I mean? Tights, but but I mean, so I got over wearing the tights and just wanted to play football with the mates, rugby league. Right. So then I just did that. All my mates were playing rugby league. I was like, I'm going to give that a go. So
on that
I did
point,
that.
St. George Illawarra Dragons fan?
I am, yes. You're a Dragons fan?
Absolutely.
You know I'm doing the wrestling for them?
No, but that's...
I'm teaching them how to get out of guillotines and everything, man.
They're my team since I'm in St. George area.
Mate, they're looking good. They're looking good. You heard it here first.
Big Dragons fan. Obviously, when they came together with Illawarra, even better. I don't know what year that was, but I still remember them coming together. So when you're playing footy, you said to me before you were a front rower, which I can't believe. And I want you to elaborate. Were you really?
Oh, really? Yeah, it really was. I was, mate, I should get some photos for you. I'll get some photos for you. 97 kg. 97 kg, front rower. You could imagine the hooker at the front. So he's got one big mountain of a man, and then he's just doing this to me like this in the scrum. You know, in the scrum, loading up in the scrum. He's like this. But yeah, man, it's just 97 kilograms. Obviously, muscle, it was a heavy. And a bit of there was muscle. I've always been, even as a young kid, I was always had a decent frame. So you can still see I'm stocky. I've got that stocky build, like thick. I'm just as thick as I am tall, especially back then. But in saying that, obviously, I was pretty fat as well.
You had kebabs a lot.
I was eating a lot, mate. You know what I mean? Like you see me eating there, that's nothing compared to what we were eating before, mate. You're like, well, mate, you're getting into it. I go, trust me. Them plates would have been a lot full, and I would have had 6 pieces of bread. You know what I mean? I used to eat till I was completely full every day.
That's
you know,
the
well,
wogging
every
up.
meal, sorry.
That's the wogging.
It is, man.
You can be
100%.
Aussie as you want, but if you're
Plates
mopping
like
up,
this, mountains of them.
if you're mopping up with bread, that's
Yeah.
the European in you.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
Aussies
especially-
don't mop up with bread. I mean, Sarah, you can confirm that. You're not using a bread as mop.
I've always done that, man. I
They'll
love
just
it.
pour it
Yeah,
down
man.
the sink.
Like I said, you say obviously I was yeah, everyone's like, oh, you're Aussie, you know, like and things like that. But mate, like you know I've always been into the culture and that I love it. Yeah, I'm all about it, about that as well.
Best food as well.
Yeah, mate. Like I love the European food. But yeah, man, that's me right there. The
sure.
Macedonian in the Greek food, mopping up the
Bread
shit.
mop.
The bread mop. I love it. That's
and if
it.
you get the good bread,
Anyone
like
that
from
knows,
Elie,
that's the best. That's the best part.
it's the best part.
Even the salad, you get some of the salad and some of the
Mop it
oil
up.
from the meat or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
mop that shit up, baby.
Well, he did a little mop before, and it was pretty mac. He had the technique down where you go around the edges of the plate,
Yeah,
work
mate.
your way to the middle,
Didn't even, you know what? I didn't even chuck it in the dishwasher. Straight in the fucking
straight
cupboard.
inside of the.
That's how good. That's how good of a job I did. Lick the
All right,
bowl
so-
and everyone wipe the rest.
97 kilos, little tank, to be honest, looking like a gas
Yeah,
station, and then you continue playing footy,
Mm-hmm.
and then at what period did you think that's it? That bloke standing up, I want him to lay down. And
well,
not in that way. I'm saying,
you
like,
talking about
in
the
a
hips again?
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
Like, don't get me confused. Like, I want to throw him down, belt him up, have a bit
Okay.
of a scrap. Were you always brawling when you were footy player? Were you like into having a little scrap? Or
Look,
not?
man, like it's not something that you sit there and be like, oh yeah, but I mean, growing up
came-
around where I'm from and stuff as well, like everyone, you have to defend yourself and you know what I mean.
Natural.
Like I've never been the type to go and just start it, but I'll definitely defend myself and I wouldn't take no shit.
Fair
So I've been in my fair share of blue. So I've always had a reputation to be able to throw them.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so I could throw them. Even in rugby league and that, I was pretty much known
Yeah.
for that. And like that's why even when I started MMA and that, but I did my last year of football because I was doing MMA. I first started training at the same gym I am today, at Freestyle Fighting Gym. I ended up doing a bit of MMA training there just to keep fit in between seasons. So I did it the 1 year, and then I ended up doing it the next year, and then I was like, I might do this a little bit more. So I started like. Before the year started, I had a friend be like, oh man, I want to take it serious. I want someone to train with me properly and we'll get a fight. And I'm like, man, I was honestly, I talk about this because it was like it was meant to be. I even was talking to people. I was at a function at somewhere. I think it was so it was for the rugby league season, like sort of not a launch, but just to get everyone, together and that before, like, a couple of months before the season started, pre-season and all that, like to get all the things going, right? Mm-hmm. So we did that, and I was talking to people. I think I want to take it serious. You know what I mean? I really want to do it. I was thinking in my head, and that I'm not lying. While I was at the same function, I get a phone call from a guy that I did a bit of training with, Shane Coleman, his name is, and he rings me. He goes, "Oh look, I want to take it serious with someone." I'm like, "I'm just had this conversation with someone." It was that same hour. I was just thinking about it all that day. I'm like, I want to do this serious. And that phone call happened. I'm like, mate, that's it. That's a sign. Let's do it. And then we'll into it. Even though I was doing training, I was concreting at the time. I was training rugby league and I was training MMA. So I was doing all three. And just, that was that year we won the comp, rugby league. I got man of the match. I scored a try. You could imagine me, 5'6". Yeah. 97 kg, just the ball running, 40, 50 metre try, you know what I mean? It was good.
Were you fast, but even though you were a little tank?
Oh, not bad for these little legs, I guess,
Not bad,
for a 97 kg
Unbelievable.
ball.
I can't believe that you weighed 97.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're so shredded at the moment. Like, you weigh, what, 76
I'm
now?
about 75 now. 75,
76.
yeah, 75, 76.
Now, when that phone call came in and he goes, I want to take it serious, who's that, a trainer?
No, he was just one of the training partners.
And he goes, I want to train you seriously?
No, he wants a training partner to train seriously with.
Train seriously
Yeah,
with.
so like it was, because I did train a bit with them. And then I played rugby league.
it's a
And then
bit of
next
faith.
season, I started doing it again. And then I'm like, you know what? I might just continue this.
Yeah.
Should I do it? You know what I mean? Like, and I was talking to people, I think I'm going to do it. I reckon I can go far. The phone call happened.
And it happened.
And
That's
it.
That's
Bang.
like a kind
The
of
rest is
divine
history.
intervention.
Yeah,
thing.
man, it was. It was
Yeah.
the next day I was like, bang, all right, let's go tomorrow. We're in, boom, and then we'll go. And I was doing
year was
it every
this?
day
What
while
year?
I was training MMA in concrete. Hey?
What year?
Man, when would that would have been? That would have been, I was 22 years old. So that was 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
11 years ago.
And then did it feel like an easy transition into that world where you just go, this is who I am now. I'm just going to go as hard as I can in this world?
Like I said, man, I've always naturally had that, you know,
I've
always been known, I've always had that
biff.
ticker in me and my brother, you know, fighting in the parents' bed and getting our ass kicked from, you know, breaking the bed and shit. You know what I mean? Like, just that's it. Like, I've always been a little rough in that little bit of wrestling background that I had as well. Man, just I guess the blood as well, you know, that warrior blood, you know what I mean? Yeah, everyone's my uncles, that's all my uncles there, all my uncles would ever talk about.
They talk a lot about that war kind of time.
Yeah, exactly, like warrior
ago.
Blood, you know what I mean? And you know, so it's always been there. They've always loved martial arts and all that, so it's always been a big part of what we were about, and I've always dreamed of doing it, and then I just that happened, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
And it just went on there. All right, when did you make your debut to the UFC, and how did that come about?
UFC or MMA?
Or MMA. Where did you first start brawling?
So that first MMA amateur fights was that same my last year of football. So I was having a couple of fights while I was playing rugby league.
2011, 2012. 2010.
2011, I think.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I couldn't.
Well,
2011?
10 years ago? You say
2011, yeah. Probably 11 years ago when I first started.
2010, 2011,
yeah. Okay, yeah. So it was about that. I can't even remember. That was the year we won it, but I couldn't tell you when that was. But yeah, man, just... Mate, yeah, it was probably...
And then you just, local fights?
Oh, yeah, so the fights you were talking about. Yeah, sorry, I did that. I had a couple amateur fights that year. How many did I have that year? I don't know if I had a couple, and then I had a couple more. I had four fights before I went pro, but I mean, they were quick.
4 fights?
4 amateur pro fights, and they didn't even add up to 1 round. So I had like a 6-second knockout, 30-second knockout, 2 30-second knockouts, and then another one was like 1 minute or 2 minutes, you know, TKO as well. So all
right, so you're obviously a natural. Who then plucked you out to go pro, and how do you go pro? What do you mean go pro? Like,
you just go professional. Is just I guess it's up to your coach and that as well. You need a coach, and where it was Joe Lopez, even early, not many people. He usually makes sure you're ready before you have your first fight. But I mean, it wasn't long before he was like, man, this kid's got a lot. He's fit. Like, you know, usually it's the ticker, fitness, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff.
Skill as well.
Yeah, skill's good. But I mean, like, you can get people that are skillful, and then they just if they cannot handle a decent pace, like, you just don't chuck them in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I had it all. Obviously, I was strong, powerful wrestling background, and play from, you know, good base from rugby league and all that. So it wasn't long, man, before Joe was like, hey, you interested in having it? I'm like, man, yeah, that's what I've been waiting for. That's why I'm here. He goes, all right, let's sweet. It was only a few months before I had my first amateur fight. And amateur. Then we had a few, and then like I think a year later, I went pro. Yeah.
And with the first pro fights, they were all in Australia?
All of them, yeah, the first year. Right. I had like before UFC, you mean? I had a couple in Guam and that as well. So I fought in Guam.
Was that somewhere in the Asia?
So it's straight up from us, actually. It's a US island.
Yeah, with
sure it's
the
a US island. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So we had they got a promotion, the PXC it's called.
All right.
And it's a big place. So it is like, you know, Southeast Asia and all that usually.
Bro,
then you get Americans as well.
Like, you remember Street Fighter the game?
Oh, right, yeah.
They had those settings like in Guam and in like...
You know what? You're probably right. Yeah,
it looked like that, palm trees.
Yeah, man, it is, man. A beautiful spot, man. Like, it was a beautiful spot. So we went there and it was huge over there. You go over there and this is like... Yeah, I wasn't in the UFC, but you're a superstar over there. Wow. Because martial arts is so big over there, and their PXC event, they'll sell that completely out. And excuse the coffee machine back there, mate. He was trying to talk to us, but yeah, man, they absolutely love it there. So we'll go there, and you just walk on the street, and I was pretty noticeable because I had a massive beard then, I had a nice big beard. So I had there, and it blend into a nice big beard there. Not like full like that, but I mean like it was a nice shaped, groomed beard.
Not like pointy.
Not pointy, similar though, like a chin shaped and then blended in. But so anyway, it was pretty. You know, you had me on the cover or whatever, like posters and that. So then people were like, "What is that guy?" You know what I mean? You're just like a superstar.
Yeah.
You know, I'm over there, like, how good is this? Come back home, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. It's different.
But you know what I mean? But yeah, it was. Man, it was cool. It was a cool experience.
And you won there?
International, I won. So I won the first fight, and then they got me fighting for the world title straight away against a Japanese guy.
Featherweight then?
Featherweight, yeah, that was featherweight.
Always been the same weight, or were you
No, because I was bigger. So my amateur fights that we're talking about, that was at middleweight. That's 85 kilograms.
Is that where Adesanya is?
Adesanya, Rob Whittaker, and all them. That's what weight I used to compete at. And then even a lot of my pros was welterweight.
Oh, really?
My only loss was at welterweight.
But not ever UFC welter.
No, never. Yeah, so
that was
there's
like
welterweight, then there's lightweight, then
Yeah.
there's featherweight.
And
so
these are the weights of MMA, right? They're different to
MMA.
boxing.
Yeah,
weights.
boxing weights you got like you got you got
Several
to weight every
welters.
couple of kilos.
Yeah, that's
where
right.
we're like what is it, 77 to 70. You got
That's
70
a lot.
welterweight 77 kilograms.
To
So it's
70.
pretty much like it's like pretty much that, and it's just over 70. So it's like 6 kilograms or more, over
Yeah.
6 kilograms between divisions, and then like 6 and 5 kilograms. You know what I mean? So fighting at welterweight's a big deal. Fighting at middleweight, you know what I mean, is obviously even a bigger deal. But that was when I was still playing rugby league, and that was still me cutting weight to 85 kilograms. Like, so you can just imagine.
In order to get shredded from where you were, was it just a load of training? Were you still mopping up the plates, or did you start cutting out the bread? How'd you go 30 kilos down?
You have to stop the bread mopping.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You got to stop
So
the
if you
bread
guys
mopping.
are listening out there, if you got a gut and tits and stuff, and I've got to take some advice, I've gone a little bit COVID, like a little bit of weight, Usually
Yeah,
I'm slightly
yeah.
more shredded, believe it or not. But so it's a bit of the food and the training.
Mate, it's all about the diet.
It's all
It's all about the diet. Obviously, being active and all that helps a lot. But I mean, if you just got an outrageous diet,
it's not gonna work,
it's never going to work. Right now, like I'm at a stage because I burn a lot of calories at the gym. So you'll be surprised how much I can eat
and still be shredded.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm still eating good, man. Like you're seeing what I'm eating there. Like if I'm
You eat good, but
yeah.
you don't eat. I haven't seen.
Yeah,
you
exactly. Like, man, it's not too
Pretty
bad. But I mean,
fresh.
I can sit there. Like, obviously, you still need a lot of carbs. I burn a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But I mean, say for someone who doesn't train as much as me,
Yeah.
the carbohydrates they're going to have to pull back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to have. You need that calorie deficit, right?
To lose weight, yeah, that's right.
And then you got to weigh. You got to. Lucky I got a fight dietitian who makes sure. All right, we got hard workouts, so let's replace these calories with more carbs, enough protein. If we need to cut calories, let's cut it with the fats because we need the energy with proteins. Little things like that.
Like that keto thing.
Oh no! Like there's not because I can have the
Does
fats.
anyone go keto in the fight world?
Oh man,
Just eating avocados and salmon? Or
no.
You
I mean,
can't.
look, there are.
Really?
You know what I mean? I ain't judging anyone, but at the same time, carbohydrates are the best source of energy. So I'm always going to have my carbs.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, if I need to cut calories,
Yeah.
don't cut your carbs because I need them for training. I need that energy. Let's cut the fats. We need the protein too, right? We don't want to lose our muscle.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's where we cut. We'll cut that sort of stuff. So I sound like I know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm just taking some of the fight
bro.
dietitians.
So you've gone.
Some of his, that's the
You've
shit
gone
he
and
tells me.
belted these guys in Guam and all the street fighter places basically around. And then who got you in front of, was it Dana White? That gets
the
invited?
UFC?
Invites you, or do they speak to Joe Lopez?
Well, you need the
or-
matchmakers to go and they'll get you a fight.
They're like, what do you call it? Scouts.
Yeah, well, the matchmakers. So you got Sean Shelby and like Mick Maynard. They're your like Joe Silver at the time. So Joe Silver got me in there. So I got my debut at lightweight. So that was a division heavier than where I'm at, but I mean, we're gonna take. I'll take a heavyweight just to get myself into the UFC at the time. That's how I was, So there was a couple of times where there was a couple of opportunities that were robbed from me, like taken away from me by management companies that were pretending they were with me.
Yeah.
And the UFC, Joe Silver hit him up, and then they end up just saying, "Oh no, he's scheduled to fight because I was defending one of my titles because I had like." A whole heap of national titles, world titles, and whatnot. Massive, undefeated, winning streak, and knockouts, you name it. So I did it all. So we were just waiting. Yeah, UFC contract comes through. I had UFC clauses in all my contracts, but these guys, just to get one of their own guys in, just said, "Oh no, he's booked. He can't fight," and then got one of their own guys. Literally robbed me of that opportunity. So
that's that political shit happens all the time. But
well, mate, it's going to happen. Yeah,
it's gonna
nothing but I mean,
especially if you're not in there yet. Like
exactly. You don't know too much what's going on and whatnot, but
that's right.
But I mean, anyway, stick to it. We eventually got in, and the rest is history.
Yeah, obviously, and good history, by the way, bro.
Yes.
You lived up to the name. So once you got into the UFC, you've been there 4 or 5 years now. When you fight every year there, once a year, you reckon, or twice a year?
Man, look, I'll usually try and get 3 fights a year. That used to be my number.
How many have you done in total?
So, how many?
UFC.
10 UFC fights, I think. So
10.
I'm 10-0 in the UFC.
But now because you're at you're
Is that right?
the king of the UFC.
I think that's right.
That's 10. Is it 10?
I think it's 10.
Where's Courtney when we need her, bro? She
mate.
knows
Yeah, we gave her all the shit about the capskins, so she's gone.
And the Corbus here, and she's done. So you've gone up to 10, but obviously when you're sitting on the crown, on the throne, as they say, don't come at the throne. Jay-Z said that, I think, or Notorious Big E or whoever it was. you're gonna fight a little less, but better fights, right? You fought a lot more
Exactly
before.
right, man. Like when you got the belt, you got to, you got a belt to defend. Like you can't just sit there and just fight whoever. You got contenders that are need to be there and whatnot. So I like to stay active and have 3 fights a year. You know, that's used to be my number. But once you're the champ, it's not really like that.
Yeah, it's less.
Obviously, I want 2's a good number. 2's a realistic number. Squeeze 3 and you're laughing. 2's good. You get 1, which I was I only got 1 this year because I got COVID and I had the problems. And the year before, you only had the 1 because of lockdowns and whatnot. So everything was just so difficult. So obviously that slowed things down. It was a crazy time to be champ. You know what I mean? But it's starting to open up.
But the comeback was sweet. Right?
Yeah, exactly right. But it's all good. And now we're going to show off the belt. We're going to travel the world. Go to Macedonia, go to Europe. Yeah, go everywhere. Take the belt and show it off a little.
Take the belt. And look, you get to keep that belt.
That belt's mine.
That's yours.
Yeah.
Forever?
Yeah, forever.
So you get to keep it.
Yeah.
That would have been sick to put the belt up here, full clout, this, that.
You want me to get it?
I'd love to put it here, bro.
We get it, we'll cut that out. I'll be back. There we go.
That's better, bro. Obviously, we've got...
We're like, the glasses too.
Exactly, bro. We need to keep the memorabilia from you and from Vlad going here. All right, so now, I want to ask you, what was the hardest fight you've ever had?
Hardest fight that I've ever had?
UFC now.
Man, in UFC. Hardest fight in UFC. It depends how you look at it. There's so many ways of looking at it. You got matchups that you have to,
Where did you struggle the most in order to win? And you end up coming good, but this guy pushed you to the end, bro.
Oh, well, you probably going to have to say Max. Max, definitely. Like, you had Chad Mendes and that everyone has different problems, right?
Yeah.
We got Aldo, where we had to stick to a certain game plan. And that game plan was, at the time, wasn't really my style, but that was the style we needed to take him out.
Right.
So from the start to finish, I had to sort of, it's like playing a character or playing a role or whatever, right? And like you're trying to stay on there, but I mean, obviously it's a lot at stake, so you can't just chill while you're doing it. Like I need to be real active in this game plan. I guess it's sort of just unfamiliar territory. You know what I mean? So
it's like a bit of chess, bro.
It was. So I had to play this game the whole time. So that was difficult. But then you got obviously the first fight with Max was another one, but that a lot of my style had to do with that anyway, so it was okay. Then the second one, obviously tough, it was a tough fight. Obviously it was a very close fight, but not just that. It was for the Fight Island, no crowd.
Yeah.
We had a couple of, I'm not going to get into it. There was a couple of things that it was just it was like a bad dream type of situation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Bad camp and you name it. So, but you risk and reward, eh? So we were sitting there, when they offered us, we only had 6 weeks to prepare for this, and they're telling us that was defending the belt. So usually you wouldn't defend your belt. You're going to make sure you can get good preparation, but they were getting desperate. So we're like, this is a good opportunity for a new contract and all that. When we knew the first fight on Fight Island, the pay-per-views are going to be good. You know what I mean? It's going to be serious.
Middle East somewhere?
That was in Abu Dhabi. So we're like, this is going to be serious money. So we're like sitting there. He's had enough time to get ready and all that type of stuff. And then we're like, look, man, this is too much money to sort of slip up, good news contract so let's just do it.
Yeah.
So we did it, and but then again, I had like a USADA come that night of my fight and all that, won't get into it. I won't get into it. But
night of your fight,
my fight woke me up halfway through my sleep. So I was already asleep for 4 hours, and they come and woke me up. They woke me up to do a piss test.
Oh,
yeah. So and trust me, it's ridiculous. But anyway,
so they were on you for that type of stuff. So
no. Put it this way, I don't reckon anyone else was getting woken up. Right. But anyway, we won't get into that.
Still one, bro.
But exactly right. So it was a tough one. So obviously the first 2 rounds, and it was just like, man, wake up. You know what I mean? But so that was a tough one purely because you had to even before the fight. I'm like, man, we need to wake up. No crowd and all that as well. It was just a real.
Was it a late
weird
fight?
feel? Hey,
late fight?
No, it was really early morning. Really early morning because it was in Abu Dhabi, and it needed to be prime time.
So what time?
So I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning
to fight. When?
Not 6? To fight. So we were fighting at maybe 7 or 6 in the morning. But you need to be up. You don't want to wake up at 6 and fight an hour. So literally I had to jump on the thing at 4:30. Or something. I had to jump on the bus to go there. But I wanted to be up at least an hour before that. I wanted a good 3-4 hours, or 4 hours at least to wake up. So I'd go to sleep at 7. Then they woke me up middle of the night. and you know, which was bad. And then I ended up having I had like melatonin, like just to try and help me sleep because I couldn't sleep.
The night before,
I had it 4 hours before I had to wake up, which was my bad. That's my fault, right?
out,
Yeah, it was
bro.
stupid. So I ended up. That's why I woke up and I'm just like, it was weird.
Does
Like I
that
just like,
show
I'm
up
like,
in the
wake up. You know, it was weird.
does that
Hey?
show up in the test? Is
No, melatonin's just it's fine.
My
They give
missus
it to
has
us.
it.
They actually give it to us during fight week to help us sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know we're struggling with the weight cut and all that, uncomfortable, and it helps you sleep. So it just gets you in a real zone, like a sleeping zone. But I mean, that's why they're like, don't have it fight night because you know you don't want to wake up groggy. But I mean, I thought I had to get sleep. You know what I mean? I didn't think too much of it.
Well, were you just jacked up? You're just
Well, I just meant because I woke up for the piss test.
Yeah.
And then they end up.
Oh, so after the piss test, you then took one?
Yes, because I couldn't get back to sleep.
Oh, God.
Because I had to, and I can't, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
know
you
you can't.
You can't even just like, I went to the toilet, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was not enough. You need a certain amount.
You
And
can't use other techniques to fall asleep, is what we're saying.
Huh?
You can't use other techniques to fall asleep.
No.
You're by yourself, you know what I mean?
I think I know where you're going with that one.
Meditation is what I'm saying.
Oh, is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah. Well, yeah. No, that wouldn't work for.
Don't get your head out of the gutter.
I thought it was a different M word.
No,
But,
meditation station.
But yeah, so it was like it was an awkward one, man. Like it would have been awkward for everyone. Weird time, no crowd. It was just awkward. But I mean, so that was tough because you've got a good opponent in Max Holloway.
Yeah.
And you know, as much as you know, there's obviously that rivalry and whatnot. But I mean, he's a good fighter. That's why he's getting another chance. You know, there's looking like it's going to be me and him again. He's going to get a third chance. You know, I mean, not many people get that, but he's shown that he's the next best guy. So you got to give credit where credit's due, as I said at the start.
It's looking like that now.
It's looking like that. So you know, I mean, that was probably a hard one because it was a lot of other little hurdles along the way. You know what I mean? A lot of you know, so it was just a shitty
that's
feeling.
the trickiest.
That's why the last one, even though I was in dangerous positions, but mate, having the crowd again, the buzz and having the adrenaline and my reactions were on point. Everything was just on, you know what I mean? I felt so good and so in the moment.
You looked relaxed.
Yeah,
bro.
you know what I mean? Where the one before was just like, you know, you're constantly like, oh man, wake up. Like everything felt forced.
Yeah.
You know, you're sitting there fighting and you're like, no reaction time, nothing's on. It's like, mate, like, you know, but now everything's just firing. You know, the first fight with Max, different story. You know, I mean, like I was on. You know what I mean? Everything went to plan and perfect and all that type of stuff. But I mean, that's the thing. That's what shows you what real champions are made of.
For sure.
That's why I sit there and everyone asks me who's the GOAT, and I say Aldo. He was champion for so long, 10 years. Could you imagine how long? You know how. Think of how many times he felt bad. Think of how many times he just didn't show up, injuries or whatever. You know, some days you're just not going to show. Some days at the gym, you just don't show up. It's going to happen 5 days, especially when you've been in the game for so long. Imagine being undefeated for 10 years.
No, you
know what I mean?
lot, bro.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So you got to, you know, that's why I give him credit. Obviously, I'm going for that GOAT status. I'm not far behind because of the names I'm taking out.
Yeah.
But you know, that's. But again, you know, I mean, that's what champions are made of. So you can't use it as excuse. That's why you haven't heard me really talk about it. Even then, I feel uncomfortable even bringing it up when things don't go, go to plan. You don't bring it up because at the end of the day, you don't need excuses because we won anyway. But you know what I mean? It's just you ask, you know, what are hard fights. It depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
It's stylistic. It could be a stylistic. It could be bad weight cuts. It could be bad preparation. It depends how you look at it. Fight-wise, you know, you probably have to see because there's a puzzle, and Max and Aldo were definitely puzzles.
Right. So we've got to talk about the loudmouths of the UFC. Conor.
Okay, yeah.
He said a couple of things, twittering this, twittering that.
Yeah.
Right. He's having scotch in Dublin at the moment, and if you're watching this, Conor, and you should be, tag me so we can get a few 100,000 followers straight off him. You know, like why not? The whole thing is about rapping cash. Like
That's it.
But if he was ever to slice it down, would you go up and go?
As into 100%. Yeah, man, I'll go up. He doesn't have to cut weight.
Just say he goes
whatever
light,
way he wants. Let's go.
You'd go to light.
Look, man.
No problem.
The thing is, people ask that and act like, oh, he's calling. You know, the caller's like everyone.
Everyone's calling.
Everyone. No, well, everyone will fight Conor McGregor. At the end of the day, yeah. You're the champ, but then you talk about money fights and whatnot.
That's right.
There's no bigger money fight than McGregor. And you're talking about, let's make that cash, right? So
exactly. What are we?
Oh, yeah, obviously I want to defend my belt and build a legacy and all that type of stuff. But I want to look after my family forever too. So if
a cash fight came up.
If that cash fight come up, I'll go fight. You know what I mean? If I have to fight a month later or 2 months later to defend the belt, I'll do it. I'll slip in a McGregor fight or a big fight like that. You know what I mean?
Fight,
yeah, 100%. You'll do it, and everyone would.
What about like a?
And it's not because you know what I mean. Like it's It's just purely because it's a money fight. You know what I mean?
So Conor, if you're listening, bro, you've been shouted out by my cousin Vlad, which firstly, I mean, that doesn't happen too often. And secondly, by the world champ, we're ready to go. A little cash fight, bro. A few $100 million. Throw it our way.
You want somebody to smoke? You want to come back down to featherweight and try and take this from me?
Come back to a feather,
I'll give you a few kilos. You can come in at welterweight and I'll still put this on the line. Let's do it. There you go. You heard it here first from my cousin Vlad.
Say something back, bro. Retweet. You know, he's good at that. Anyway, so...
Want somebody smokes? You want somebody smoke?
We're fucking over here waiting.
Oh, is that was that an Irish accent?
We're fucking waiting, mate. Oh, is that English?
I don't know. Was it? I don't know, man. Or
don't come at me, Conor. Like, don't meet me in the street and have a go with me because I'll drop like a $2 hooker. I don't need that in my life.
He's shown he doesn't discriminate who he hits.
That's
either.
what I'm worried about.
So he'll come for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, all right, bro. Don't worry about coming at me. You're gonna have to set it up with a champ. Don't worry about me. All right, so that sounds amazing. You do the cash fight. Obviously, I might be the promoter for that fight if it's happening. Dana, if you're listening, just I'm alongside. I need to make cash too, bro.
What is it with my cousin? MCV.
MCV Productions. Immaculate Productions.
Oh, my dad works too. MZ Vlad. MZV.
MCV, I like it.
There you go.
All right, so next step, you're going back to UFC, obviously. You want to continue fighting, creating this legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's looking like 2022, obviously. Mm-hmm. Nothing's on the cards. We can't reveal anything at the moment.
Oh, I mean, like, it's already, like, pretty much public, like, the days. There's nothing signed, no contracts, anything can change. But
anything can change.
We're looking at you know, March, February, March, you know, April. But it's looking like March date.
Beautiful, bro.
But nothing's locked in, so that can change.
Are you traveling? Do you say you're going to go to Europe or something now?
I'm burping up the Cobblesy.
That's the only side effect about onions and Cobblesy, bro. It's the reburp.
It was good though. Tasted good.
Anyway,
yeah,
where are you going to go on a holiday with the family now?
I am gonna. Yeah, we are. Actually, it's my sister's getting married actually next week. So well, she's gonna go there. We're gonna go like camping and that, and then do the mess. We're there for a few days, so we'll take them there. But I want to take the family out before I get into camp. I want to take them somewhere. I promise them a camping trip. Even though this will be a camping trip, I need to take them on another one.
Yeah, what, are you going to go Europe? Something like that?
I want to. I definitely want to. But again,
can we even leave this country, bro? Like,
man, I think we can. I think we can. I still don't know. So, you know, maybe... I don't know. We need to figure it out, eh?
Yeah, or you're all right because you're going over there for fighting, but... I can't go and list the property I have no work over there. You know what I mean? Unless I'm.
No, I think you're allowed. You're just allowed to go out and about. So if you want to go to America, you're allowed to go. I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure that's where we're at right now. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
When you got COVID, did it affect you a lot?
Yeah, it rattled me. So I was in camp, right? You know, I told you before. Sometimes when you're in camp and fight, you know, weight cutting and all that, your immune system's down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, getting the flu's bad enough or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And then, COVID, whatever it was, getting that while you're weight cutting and that, while I was training so hard, maybe that played effect. But, mate, it got me good. It got me real good. I was coughing up blood and everything. I was in hospital. It got me good. So I had to take a few months, off. Like, I had, like, a few weeks, like, completely off. And then eased back. So when I say a few months, I wasn't 100% training for at least 2-3 months.
Were you short of breath and stuff like
that?
Yeah,
like because it got my lungs, so I got the pneumonia from it. So the infection went through the lungs.
Since then, are you okay, bro?
I'm sweet. So that's why a lot of people.
Heal?
That's why a lot of people, because you hear a lot of cases where a lot of people catching COVID and they've
damaged their lungs.
They've damaged their lungs and they've like career-ending. Yeah. You hear a lot with some sportsmen.
Did that go through your head?
Of course. You know that's why we were at the time. We're like, man, like we need just to look out, like we need to be looked after. Lucky everyone looked after us because, you know, everyone's like, you'll be all right. I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to make sure, you know, let's just do this properly because I don't want scar tissue on the lungs. It was a very common thing for COVID. So, I mean, and that can be detrimental to a career.
Absolutely, bro.
So, luckily, obviously, you see my cardio in the last one, it hasn't affected. So, that was a lot of people like, let's see how this goes.
If anything, the cardio was even more impressive than the prior fight.
Well, man, like my last 2 camps, so the 2 camps I did for Ortega, was, man, because of the recovery and everything that, like, we just had the structure around our camp was so good, man. I've never got through camp so easy. I'm getting older, but that was the easiest camps I ever did. So, man, I was in prime condition. My heart rate's never been so low. This was before I got COVID as well.
What do you put it down to, bro?
Just my structure, the way we're doing a camp. I used to just, you know, a lot of people just want to work, like, you know, they either don't work hard enough or they overtrain. So they sit there going, oh, the more I do, the more fit I'm going to be. And I used to be like that. You know, I'll be honest, that's how I was. But now I do these high intensity, some of the highest intensity sessions you ever see. But there's structure. There's a time for them, and there's a time to, you know, you're going to ease your training in between them sessions. Yeah, you want to recover. So there's going to be drilling sessions in between these really, really high
Drilling
intensity.
in the gym, not in the bedroom. Again,
Mate, the
I
hip,
can't, bro.
the hips get involved every single
It's
time,
been
mate.
a while, you know what I mean?
You should have seen
I've
with
been
the
busy.
Kolbasi. The Kolbasi jokes he was throwing out
You
there.
see the Kolbasi.
Kolbasi. What's that Kolbasi?
Kolbasi.
Kolbasi.
Like call
Fucking
the
I'm butchering
bus.
it. I've been saying it right the whole time. Anyway.
Kolbasi.
Kolbasi.
Well, Alex is very Aussie. You're very Aussie. And
Kolbasi, mate.
it's the Illawarra style.
Kakusi. Shop right No worries. See, I still know a bit. Still, you know what I mean?
Where are we at, Budge? How long are we in? 47. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, I got a couple questions left over. All right, so now it slipped my mind, bro.
You were just so impressed with my Macedonian, eh?
I'm thinking about Kolbasi, I'm thinking about traveling and all that. I think about fighting. And you've got a couple family now, a couple of kids. Next time you're gonna take everyone over, obviously, and
Probably not the kids. We won't take the kids because it's just, you know, Vegas. You know, it's probably going to look like Vegas most of the times if it's there. I don't know. But, I mean, travelling over there and all that, school and things like that, it's just, you know, it's a bit hard. But the missus will come, the wife will come. Well, what's that?
How long are you there for?
No, because I usually just go there the week before and then I'll come back straight away. It used to be a lot harder because I've got to do the 2-week quarantines. So every time I'd go fight, I'll be at least a month
just
away.
Just a week before you fight, you'll go?
Yeah,
you don't go there for like
I have
3
been there before, but I mean, I went there 2 weeks before I got COVID.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, like the last time I went, I ain't going there early, just, you know what I mean? I was trying to avoid the chance of, you know, something happening.
There's a lot of COVID over there, eh?
Hey?
There's a lot over there, right?
Oh, yeah, man. Like, obviously, there, everything's just opened up. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works. I think it just keeps going like this.
Up
you
and
know
down,
what I mean?
yeah.
I don't think the cases of the severity, is that the right word? Like, severeness of it, it's obviously a lot more, you know, it's nowhere near as bad, but I'm sure there's still cases. I don't know how it works.
Well, maybe they
Same
got a
as
little
here,
bit more than Australia. We've got 0.026 and we can't go to the corner shop sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
which is a little bit extreme here for the 47 people that live in this country. Sorry, guys, we should open up pretty soon, you know what I mean? All right, now, we're capped that after your legacy is fulfilled, and it will be fulfilled just the same way Alexander the Great's was, and people will be talking about it in 3,000 years too, possibly. We don't know what the future holds, but let's hope so. What do you feel like you want to drift into?
What do I, as in, what's after? What's after the UFC?
Yeah, you might not need to wrap cash after the Conor fight. You'll be set up for generations, but I'm saying, what do you want to use your time for?
Mate, look, man, you're not in this sport forever, are you? That's
right.
the thing. You know, you're only in sport for a short amount of time. But I mean, we've got, you know, you got to, you know, it's obviously, build that brand, right? Build that brand, and then you want some stuff to build off afterwards. But I love being behind a mic. I love being in front of a camera.
You're natural,
mate. The cooking.
You're good.
The cooking's, you know what I mean? The people, you know, everyone's loving the cooking. So we're cooking with Volk, cooking with Vlad, you know how it is, mate. I might become a real estate agent with all right.
Bro, we'll start an immaculate agency together. 100% I'll hire him. You go out there door knocking with the belt on.
So, hey, you're going to get the loyal real estate agent here, but I don't know about this one. What's this one? Is he going to be the dodgy one or what?
Yeah, well, with the long hair, greasy. Bro, 100% I'll look more dodgy than you. But I'm saying if you turned up with that belt strapped over the suit, you reckon people are going to say, no, I'm going with the other agent? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know,
you walk in, you
I
put
reckon,
the belt
I reckon
on
the belt would make some sales.
It's going to keep the negotiations to a minimum. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly like
people go, bro, we're not really feeling it. And then you just put the belt on. They'll go, where do we sign? You know?
Exactly right.
Sign here and we'll take whatever price you get in the first week.
It's usually how it works.
Now, you've done a children's book.
Yes.
And it's called
Alexander the Great.
And when did that come out?
That came out, man, we've had that probably for a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Have you got
it's
any
hard to
copies?
even get the timeline. Yeah, we got some. You know what? I'm going to give you a couple as well. So the one thing that I love about the book as well, right, is you know, you talk about UFC and everyone sees it, and you know, sometimes there's a stigma behind it, and you know, everyone thinks that they're thugs, and you know what I mean, and like they're always trash talking and all this chaos and dollies through the buses and all that. Thanks, Connor. You know what I mean, like all that type of stuff. You know what I mean. So it's But I mean, they don't really get to see the hard work. Everyone knows. Like anyone that does a bit of research, and anyone that knows me knows that I don't mess around. Obviously, I'm disciplined. The hard work's there, and respectful and all that type of stuff. But a lot of that's missed. A lot of that's missed though. Like what it means to be a martial artist, or to even get. And there's phrases in the thing is like, I'm going to be the greatest athlete the world will ever see. Things like that. But I mean, it doesn't come easy.
No.
You need, you're like, but I mean, martial arts, you build resilience, discipline, respect, all that type of stuff that, again, it's missed through the media and just through even the public eye. Obviously it's changing, but at the same time, it's just I just feel like the book's just a different look that some people don't get to see. But a lot of people know that's what it's like, but not enough people know.
And can you buy it online?
You can get that online. Maybe you could chuck a link up for me. Hook a brother up.
Hit up there. What's the website? Where are we getting it from?
Yeah, well, we got Instagram page and that as well. So you can just Alexander the Great Volkanovski book. So it's pretty easy to find. The same as the email address. But I mean, we'll have all the details there. There we go. We'll have all the details there. So there you go. Vlad's going to hook us up.
Who's your if you're saying all of this, be the greatest athlete, this and that. Who was your athletic hero?
Athletic hero, man. There's so many athletes that I used to love, but I mean, because I'm an MMA fighter, martial arts, UFC, it'll probably have to be Chuck Liddell. You know what I mean? There's no real. I wouldn't say it was because, the hard work he put in, or it wouldn't be that route. It was just purely that he was just an idol of mine. At the time, it was just one of my favorite. I was a massive fan. He's the Iceman. He didn't get nervous and all that. I can see a little bit of a resemblance to myself. I don't get nervous or anything like that. But yeah, just I don't know. It was just something about it. He was just coming through when I first got into it, and he was knocking everybody out. I loved it. So yeah, man, it was he was a big idol of mine at the time.
When you first watched him, in your head, did you say, I'm going to be here one day?
Man, I used to picture a belt. Obviously, it was a different belt at the time, but I used to picture a belt around my waist. I wasn't even training MMA.
There you go.
I wasn't even training MMA. I would listen to music and picture myself with a UFC belt around, saying I'm going to be champ one day, and I wasn't even training at the time.
So what do
I
you
started
say?
at 22 years old.
So what do you say to people about that? Like, is that putting that vision in your head is important, bro?
Especially like, okay, here's how. That's what you hear me say it. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're not just a normal bloke. I try and say I'm just a regular bloke that works hard, right? Like, obviously, it goes a lot deeper than that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, people look at all the good traits I have. It wasn't because I'm athletically gifted and all that. These are things it was hard work to get these good traits. Yeah. So I was, I committed to what I was doing. I was disciplined, and I just kept working for these things. Yeah, like you look at me in the gas tank and all that. I'm not just genetically gifted and got these lungs, you know what I mean? Like it's this, that resilience that I talk about. That's why about my book. That's what it is. You're gonna be uncomfortable sometimes. Sometimes you need to accept that. You know what I mean? And I do that day in, day out. While I was growing up, where did it all come from? It could have just been through the family, you know what I mean? How they were, you know what I mean?
Like
mentality. Yeah, mentality, and just, the hard work and sort of mentality from my parents and all that. Is it the warrior blood? You know what I mean? Could be the warrior blood and all that. People say that.
There's something there.
There is something there.
But you could drop that and
do
nothing as well.
I believe it's more mental, you know what I mean? What I mean? Again, no shortcuts, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's no shortcuts to success. No matter whether you're talking fighting, success in business, whatever it is, you can't just cut. You might get really lucky, but let's talk percentages wise. Most people that are out there were successful in whatever they do. They weren't taking shortcuts. They were doing what they needed to do. You know what I mean? And they're putting the work in. And you know what I mean? Like, maybe they found something that works, but I mean, to continue for that to work and to build that into something that's going to be successful and be great, you know what I mean? It's hard work, you know what I mean? And it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable.
A lot of people want to think
comfortable in uncomfortable positions. That's something that I've actually changed. The saying, be comfortable in uncomfortable positions. Yeah. I've changed being comfortable because I don't think you're ever going to be comfortable, but you're going to accept it. I accept being uncomfortable. Accept being uncomfortable. That's what I've changed it.
That's more practical.
That's more real. Because again, like I'm in the gym and, I used to say, be comfortable in uncomfortable positions. I don't care how many times I do these workouts and how fit I am, they're never comfortable. But I've learned to accept this uncomfortable feeling, and that makes me just push through and do what I need to do. You know what I mean? So that's the same through business. Yeah, the things are going to get hard through life in whatever you do. Sometimes we need to accept it, and it's not going to be comfortable. That's what I mean. But we might have to accept. Easier said than done, right? I know that, but you know, I just think a lot of it has to do with that mental power, and that goes a long way. And again, I'm not having shots at people with this. I'm trying to help, and I just think, you know,
bro.
This is the message I'm trying to say is I'm not special.
Yeah.
Trust me. When I first jumped on the pads and whatnot, I wasn't some freakish athletic guy that people go, man, look how crazy this guy is. Yeah, maybe I've always been strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
You
I
had
mean,
something.
Yeah, I had
you
something,
weren't like the complete package.
yeah, but I mean, even just like, and people be like, "Oh, he's got the fight IQ," and like, I'm not a smart person, you know. Maybe I'm good at working things out. My brain works well when it comes to figuring things out, and you know, what's the word I'm looking for? There, like, you know,
assessing situations.
well, yeah, like, you know what I mean. So, you know, like maths and things like that. I was never good at anything else.
Yeah.
You know, vocabulary is terrible. You know what I mean. But maths, I could figure it out. Problem solving. That's what I was looking for.
Right.
I can, you know, I'm good at problem solving, and maybe that's something whether that was just through growing up, and you know, again, my parents were hard workers, so they were working a lot, so that's why I know how to cook, because I'll just have to cook dinner myself, you know what I mean, cook food myself, walk myself to school, do some certain things like that. So
you're the youngest as well.
I was the youngest, but again, like but again, and that's not having a shot. Like I was looked after very well. You know, they did whatever they could to look after us. If I ever needed money or anything like that, it was all good. So they were great to me. So I'm not saying that, but there was times because they were working hard, and you know, I was like, oh yeah, sweet, I'll cook my own food. Now look. Now, you know what I mean? Here I was a 12-year-old or whatever I was, cooking my own spaghetti bolognese or whatever it was. Piperki, whatever it was. I wasn't cooking at that age. But, you know, I'm cooking, you know, kobasi, I got it right. Yeah. Kobasi, whatever it is, you know, I'm cooking that. Now, look. We got cameras here, cooking in front of people, cooking with cousins, with Vlad.
Courtney and
you know what I mean?
Gone.
Hey?
We had Courtney's gone.
Yeah.
And she's going to watch this, so we need you back, Court.
Yeah, so I think if you haven't watched or I don't know if it's out yet, we don't know when this is going out, when it's going to go out, but if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it and look how terrible them capsicums were. But, hey, problem solving. Perfect. We're good at problem solving. We figured it out. We got it. We made it happen.
Shot. Yeah,
we made it happen.
You are a good problem solver, bro, for sure. I can tell just in the kitchen the way you diced that huge capsicum back into the regular size.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. No one will know. No one will know. Hopefully we edit it out. So no. We want them to. Now that we're talking about problem solving, I want them to see how you improvise.
Exactly. I reckon, bro, you'll be a mad podcast as well. You got to start this thing.
Yeah,
you don't have one, do you?
I do, because I'm on my YouTube channel now, so I don't do my own podcast.
Like this kind of thing.
So I don't sit there. Like I've done a little bit like on Instagram and all that, but I mean I do my own breakdowns on the fights and whatnot. So now I just so now it's just me sitting in front of the camera and chatting shit because I love it. I don't every time people want to do a podcast, it'll be 30 minutes, and I just keep fucking yapping. And next minute's an hour and 30. You know what I mean? Like everyone asks me one question, I answer all 10 of their questions in the one. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. I just fucking keep dribbling shit out the mouth. So here it is.
All right, let's do a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to the This That Podcast, episode 69, the latest, the greatest, with the great Alexander Volkanovski. Thanks for having me into your beautiful home, bro. Thanks for having me on your cooking show and having a cracker day, bro. I loved it. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Good day, good food, good yarns. You know how it is.